Serving southern New Mexico, this is the award-winning KRWG-TV News 22, where news matters.
Good evening, everyone. I'm Maddie Volmer.
And I'm Victor Fierro.
U.S. Customs and Border Protection officers have intercepted 5 unrelated smuggling cases all within a week. On February 28th, officers intercepted 0.4 pounds of fentanyl. On March 1st, officers found another 0.22 pounds of fentanyl and 28.96 pounds of cocaine on the same day. On March 2nd, officers then intercepted 120 pounds of marijuana, and on March 6th, officers intercepted another 0.27 pounds of fentanyl. Each of these subjects have been arrested by CBP and were turned over to the Homeland Security investigations and local authorities. All right, now let's go ahead and take a look at our current temperatures. It is currently mostly cloudy with a high of 64 right now. Winds headed northwest at 8 miles per hour, humidity at 33%, and a dew point at 34, and barometer at 30.09. The high today was 71 with a low of 46, leaving an average of 69. Back in 1972, we had a high of 84, and in 1899, we had a low of 17. We didn't have any rain today, so that leaves our yearly rainfall at 0.51 inches. New Mexico State Police are investigating the fatal shooting of a 17-year-old boy Friday night. Benjamin Rios Archuleta was killed on March 3rd around 9 p.m. Officers responded to a shooting call on I-25 just south of Doña Ana, where they found Archuleta suffering from a gunshot wound. He was then transported to a hospital in Las Cruces, where he was pronounced dead. Las Cruces Public Schools have confirmed that Archuleta was a student at Las Cruces High School, but he was disenrolled for non-attendance. Police have yet to identify a suspect. An Oregon Mountain High School teacher and band assistant is now facing sexual assault allegations after a student came forward earlier this year. 40-year-old Valentino Leyva is facing 1 account of sexual contact of a minor and 2 accounts of contributing to delinquency for an incident back in September of 2022. Leyva paid 3 high school students $50 to clean his yard back in 2022. He's accused of supplying the boys with alcohol and sexually abusing one of the boys when he got drunk. If convicted, Leyva could face up to 4.5 years in prison. The Bureau of Land Management is helping President Biden with his energy infrastructure plan. The La Mesa Gentai project in Doña Ana County has been approved. The Gentai line will be 4.7 miles long and will serve as an interconnection between the 20-megawatt La Mesa solar facility and the Anthony substation. The Gentai line will cross just over 2 miles of the BLM-managed public land. The BLM says they are thrilled to be playing a role in the president's vision of deploying safe and clean energy.
Demolition of the former Las Cruces Country Club clubhouse began today. The 100-year-old building designed by Henry Trost has been sitting empty for over 20 years, and the owners have decided it's time for it to go. Demolition has been scheduled for weeks, but members of the Las Cruces community say they were given no notice that it was happening today.
It's like losing a precious dog that all of a sudden you're watching it being put to sleep and it's gone.
I feel like the community doesn't even know what it's lost.
Demolition is expected to continue through the week. Stay tuned. Jose will be back with the scoop on sports.
Welcome back. You're watching News 22 Tuesday,
where news matters. The Mesilla Valley lost a longtime Mesilla resident several weeks ago, someone who had touched many lives and bettered the community as a whole. Marin Gregory has the story.
Most of J. Paul Taylor's 7 children, 18 grandchildren, and 20 great-grandchildren gathered at San Albino Church on the square in Mesilla to say goodbye to a man of service. J. Paul Taylor was born August 24, 1920 in the small town of Chamberino. His parents, Robert Taylor and Margarita Romero, were dairy farmers who valued education and service, qualities that stuck with their son. He graduated NMSU, then joined the Navy in World War II. While on leave, he married Mary Daniels. After the war, he and Mary moved to Mesilla. Paul started teaching at Mesilla Park Elementary, and over the next 39 years, he was a teacher, principal, and superintendent, and he introduced bilingual education into the Las Cruces public schools.
And her question was, how are you going to punish the Hispanic children when they speak Spanish on the school ground? And I said, well, there'll be no punishment for that. Mm-hmm. Their language is valued in the classroom as well as on the playground.
After retiring from teaching, Paul was elected state representative for 9 consecutive terms.
You know, his legacy was, I think, his compassion. You know, that kind of transcends everything he did. He was able to speak to things and get his message to people.
He worked mostly on legislation to help those in need and met with some of the most famous politicians of our time. In 2011, Las Cruces Public Schools started the J. Paul Taylor Academy in his honor.
And he made me feel like I was in the right place, doing the right thing.
Mr. Taylor never truly retired from service. He was seen picking weeds at the post office into his 90s, and he made his last trip to the state capitol in January, age 102, for a meeting for one of the numerous boards he served. For his funeral, everyone, including the governor, came to pay their respects, and Paul got a proper send-off from the Las Cruces Marine Corps League. For News 22, I'm Marin Gregory.
Welcome back. Let's take a look at our local temperatures. In Albuquerque right now, we have a low of 59, in Gallup 56, in Clovis 64, and here in Las Cruces 64, in Deming 65. Looking at tomorrow in Farmington, we have a high of 62, in Clovis a high of 68, in Las Cruces a high of 86, and in Deming a high of 74. Tonight in Alamogordo, it's a low of 45, and tomorrow a high of 73. In Truth or Consequences, we have partly cloudy skies tonight with a low of 39, and tomorrow a high of 76. In Silver City, we have a low of 39, and tomorrow a high of 67. And here in Las Cruces, we have a low tonight of 46, and tomorrow a high of 80. And Jose is next with sports.
This is KRWG-TV News 22 Sports.
Welcome back. I'm Jose Munoz and let's talk sports. The NMSU women's basketball team last night faced off against UTRGV in the first round of the WAC tournament. The final score was 65-49 with a star performance by Molly Kaiser scoring a game-high 25 points, giving the edge to the Aggies. Their second round matchup is set against number 2 Southern Utah. After losing both season games this year to the Thunderbirds, the Aggies are out for revenge. The game is set on Wednesday at 7 in Las Vegas and is available on ESPN+. This past weekend, NMSU softball hosted UTEP and Northern Colorado for the NM State Round Robin. Day 1 action, Aggies split a pair, beating UTEP 12-3 and losing to Northern Colorado 4-6. The Aggies would catch fire in Day 2, defeating UTEP 4-1 and Northern Colorado 6-4, ending their homestand with a 2-game winning streak. They are set to be on the road for the next 13 games, starting with Fresno State on Thursday at 4:30. The new basketball interim head coach sought to bring change, except at the end of their 3-game homestand, the Aggies' record plummets to 0-10, breaking the program's worst start in a season. Over the weekend, the University of Pacific had outscored the Aggies by 12 runs within 3 games with a total of 23-11. Now with a road trip ahead of the Aggies against GCU at Phoenix, Arizona, starting Friday through Sunday with hopes in their first win of the season. The past weekend, the boys' state championship started the round of 16. With a slow start to the game, Oregon Mountain came from behind to defeat Hobbs 70-56, while Las Cruces fell short to Los Lunas 45-43. Oregon Mountain is set to face off against West Mesa tomorrow at 9:45 a.m. The girls' state championship showcased Las Cruces, Centennial, and Oregon Mountain The Lady Bulldogs moved on, beating Clovis 51-33, while Centennial battled Oregon Mountain and won 40-39. Centennial opened their playoffs with a win over the Trojans, but lost to Volcano Vista 44-36, knocking them out in the second round. Las Cruces is set to play Farmington tonight at 8:15. And that's all for sports tonight. Join us for more sports action tomorrow. Still ahead on News 22, Maddie will be back with your 5-day forecast.
That's all for tonight. Tune in tomorrow night for more action. I'm Maddie Volmer.
And I'm Victor Fierro, and from the whole News 22 team, Maddie, Jose, and myself, good night.
This news brief in Español is brought to you by Noticias 22, Spanish language news for southern New Mexico and West Texas. Noticias 22.
Buen día, soy Jorge Fonseca con las breves de hoy. 4 ciudadanos estadounidenses fueron atacados el 3 de marzo por hombres armados cuando cruzaban hacia Matamoros, Tamaulipas. Las víctimas conducían una minivan blanca con placas de Carolina del Sur para recibir tratamiento médico en México. De acuerdo a investigaciones, los sospechosos, que aún no han sido confirmados, habían disparado a la minivan y emboscado a los pasajeros para después secuestrarlos y retenerlos en una vivienda en Matamoros. 2 víctimas, Shahid Woodard y Cecil Brown, fueron encontradas muertas, mientras que Latavia Washington McGee y Eric Williams sobrevivieron y fueron trasladados a un hospital de Texas. Las oficinas del FBI en San Antonio anunciaron una recompensa de $50,000 para la identificación de los responsables. Si tiene información al respecto, por favor comuníquese al número que aparece en pantalla. El pasado 5 de marzo, la Policía Estatal de Nuevo México investigó un choque fatal que tomó lugar en Tuladosa, Nuevo México. En este, fueron involucrados un Polaris 2021 conducido por Aubrey Pinson, una mujer de 33 años que viajaba por el nordeste sobre Sabina Lake. Por razones aún no confirmadas, el vehículo dejó su ruta y chocó contra una señal de tráfico y un poste telefónico. A pesar de que fue trasladada al hospital, Pinson sucumbió a sus heridas. El alcohol y el uso indebido de los cinturones de seguridad parecen ser factores contribuyentes al accidente. Esto ha sido todo por mi parte. Muchas gracias por estar con nosotros y que tengan una excelente noche.